yourself. You know, if we want, is it pretty busy on the admin, or do you need help with it?
No, it's not pretty busy. It's
Okay.
pretty
I mean,
quiet.
I would love to give people the gift of time tonight. So if we want to jump in, let's do it.
Okay. I can just start
Welcome.
going. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm not Lana. I am going to go through the slides and see if you guys have any questions. Okay. Oh wait, here's Heidi in the middle. Okay. First thing, oops, Lana has is okay. Thursday, April 8th at 6:30 will be the McAuliffe International Safe Routes to School project meeting. Everybody is welcome to come, but specifically they would like to invite any property owners that live around there, which is it'll affect 26th, 25th, 23rd, from Holly to Monaco. So if you know anybody, please go ahead and mention that to them. Street sweeping starts today, April 1st. Fun. Get ready. Move your car. That's such a nice announcement. So nice for her to include that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, I don't want to fast forward. Okay, so for the food pantry, I'm not going to read all of the numbers, but specifically they have a current needs list, which if you have any of these items or are going to the store or Costco or wherever, to please bring those in. I'm not sure what the hours are of the office that is open right now. Tracy, do you know?
I don't know. I can certainly find out for everybody. And then also, do you know, Blair, is this list on our website as well?
I think it is. Yep.
Okay.
I think it is. So you could always open up the website while you're in the grocery store too, if that's helpful. The Garden in the Box program is coming up. The 6th annual Garden in a Box giveaway, May 15th, 9 to 11. You do have to register in advance. And they distribute seedlings, seeds, instruction, tools. It's a super great program. Highly encourage you to take part. And if you know anybody, that's great too. Spread the word. Oh, the 9th annual Park Hill Yard Sale. Saturday, May 22nd from 8 to 1. That's super fun, even if you're buying. I love that. I'm usually selling. So register on the website also today, April 1st. So Garden in the Box and for the Park Hill Yard Sale.
Hey, Blair, so the food pantry, it's still open Monday, Wednesdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. everyone.
Yep.
Next is there is an update. We'll try to put it on the website, but please visit denvergov.org and also our website. We'll be posting a new update from the last meeting, hopefully this week. I guess it's Thursday, maybe early next week. Yeah, please visit the websites. And here is please become a member if you're not a member, donate, volunteer, so much fun, so much going on. And also I want to mention really quickly that the Park Hill Garden Walk tickets are going on sale May 1st, and we're having 8 brand new gardens. It's going to be super fun. And please be sure to, I'll include that someplace, but to sign up and donate and come, and there'll be artists at least one artist, probably 2 for each garden this year. Super fun. And I did see, I guess we should jump right in. I did see Heidi, Officer Lewis is here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Sorry, I was a little bit late. So I'll try to be quick here, go through my normal spiel. As far as stats go, what we're seeing for the month of February to March in percentage changes, we've got crimes against persons total down 42%. We're seeing zeros across the board for all robberies, business, street, and residential, 0 homicides. Crimes against property total, we have a slight uptick, 15.2%. That's going to be attributed to criminal mischief, larceny, and then a large jump in theft from motor vehicles. So again, please keep valuables out of your vehicle, lock your doors. Crimes against society total, we're down 87% in drug and weapons offenses. So overall, we've got a 3.4 positive percent change for March. As far as events go, the Denver Police Department is partnering with Mending Roots, and that's a youth violence reduction effort connected to the environment in Park Hill. Essentially, the goal is to memorialize youth victims of gun violence, raise awareness, create a community space, and measure impact for future program expansion. So basically what it is the Mending Roots effort will be planting 200 trees in the southeast plot of the Park Hill Golf Course. And each of those trees memorializes a youth that was a victim of gun violence. The tentative date for the planting day is May 1st. We will have our commander, division chief, and several officers out there. If anyone from Greater Park Hill would like to participate, I will get you more information if you haven't already heard about that. And that may come up in the vision, the town hall for the golf course. I just want to mention this quickly. We are introducing the host team, and that's the new homeless outreach team. That's a civilianized team. So we're moving away from law enforcement into more of a civilian capacity and resource capacity for handling transients and homelessness. So if you are calling 911 or the non-emergency number for something homeless related that doesn't have a criminal element to it, then you might be redirected to 311, and then those 311s are going to be sent to the host team that will then handle that complaint or incident or concern. Now, if it does have a criminal element or there's a safety element, then we will still be handling that with the host team. Host is slated to take over completely in August, and until then, we're in a transition period. And then lastly, I just wanted to note that all of the COVID-19 vaccination sites in District 2 open tomorrow, April 2nd, for everyone 16 plus years and older. So if you've been wanting to get your vaccination, then I would encourage any of those who would like to get one to do so. And then I will open it up for question and answer if there's anything that you guys have a question for me about.
Officer Lewis, a board member that couldn't be present tonight asked that we inquire about car theft and catalytic converter theft, which I guess a bunch of people have had them cut out of their car. Do you have anything on that?
Yeah. So as far as auto theft, the stealing of the vehicle itself, it looks like in February we had 30 of those. In March, we had 26. So we're down just slightly. But catalytic converter theft has been increasing throughout not only the entire city of Denver, but the entire state of Colorado at an alarming rate, to be quite honest with you. Catalytic converter theft is so profound because it literally takes someone 30 seconds and a saw, and they pop under your car and they saw off your catalytic converter. And then what they're doing is selling it to junkyards or other sources. And those catalytic converters can go from anywhere from $200 to $3,000, depending on the model of the vehicle and the precious metals inside the catalytic converter. So what I'm going to do is send the board members a flyer that you guys can disseminate to the rest of Greater Park Hill, and that's got some catalytic converter theft prevention tips. And they actually do sell locks for your catalytic converter. Now, this can be quite difficult because a lot of people don't even know what it is, what it looks like, where it's at. But this flyer will help you work through some of the solutions to prevent theft. And then any auto parts store that sells these locks, they'll be able to help you locate where the lock needs to go to prevent it. And then as far as just basic tips, if you have a garage, obviously you want to park in your garage. If you do not have a garage and you have street parking, you're going to want to park, as best you can under a well-lit area, and then keep in contact with your neighbors. And if they notice any suspicious behavior, obviously call us. If you see someone laying down on the side of cars or looking under cars, definitely call us and we will absolutely come out for that.
Okay, yeah, that would be really great. I know that in some of the neighborhood social media threads, people are sharing that either their vehicles have been stolen or their catalytic converters have been stolen. So thank you. Okay. I'm not sure, Nam, if you want to unmute or if you want me to unmute you, what the STAR program is. Sorry.
Oh, thanks.
Where are you? Okay.
Hey, thanks, Blair. I was just, I don't know if when Officer Lewis was talking about I think she called it the host program. I wasn't sure if that is sort of the new name of the STAR program, or is the STAR program a different thing? I thought the STAR program was sort of the non-police way to intervene, and that the program that the city had to intervene in these kind of issues, but maybe that was the old model and host is the new thing.
Yeah, so to clarify, they're sort of two different teams, but they're ultimately one and the same. We've had the STAR program for a while, and what the STAR program was originally implemented for was sort of that co-responder idea that we had to bring on like mental health Center of Denver clinicians to actually ride with officers. And when they encountered a mental health call or incident, whether that was transient related or not, the STAR team was there to provide resources and work long-term on those cases, whereas officers previous to that, it was just handle the call and then you move on. So the STAR folks were actually helping get these people hooked up with whatever resources they needed long-term. Now the host team does the same thing. They get people hooked up with housing, temporary housing, or temporary labor, or all of, sort of all the different needs that the transient folks may have, but they're solely dedicated to working with the homeless. And the host team get the calls for service related to transients directly to them. And police, after August, police will only respond to those incidences that have a criminal or safety element to them. So if there's a call for service and there is suspected drug use, or there's a fight, or there's arson, or there's something like that, then officers will accompany. And if there's not, then the host team will handle it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. That's perfect. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Heidi, did you say you were going to send us a flyer to get out to the community about the catalytic converter and what to do?
Yep, it's a complete flyer. We did post it on Nextdoor. I don't know if anyone from Greater Park Hill saw that, but I'm going to send it directly to you guys. And it's sort of an image, but it's got an image of a catalytic converter so you know what it looks like. And then it's got a bunch of different steps you can take to prevent that theft.
Okay, great. And then the other question, when was the tree planting date?
So they're tentatively planning to plant the trees on May 1st with prep on April 30th. Now I'm still waiting to hear back from the Holleran group. They're the ones who are organizing the Mending Roots project on that date being finalized. As soon as that date is finalized, I can also send that to you guys so you know, in case anyone in the community wants to participate as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything for Officer Lewis? Alrighty. Let's, I think I saw Emily Kleinfelter. You are next up with Denver Streets Partnership.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen if.
Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, let's see what happens.
All right. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can see this.
We can.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm Emily Kleinfelter. I'm a program associate with the Denver Streets Partnership. I feel like a program associate is just a fancy word for somebody that wears a lot of hats, but I do a lot of community engagement and outreach. And so I'm really happy to be here tonight to talk to you guys a little bit more about one of our initiatives called 20 is Plenty. But just real quick, I'll give you a little bit of background on the Denver Streets Partnership. We're a coalition of organizations with a mission to reclaim Denver streets for people, to make it safer for folks who are trying to walk, bike, or roll, or use transit in their communities. And we believe that human dignity should be the guiding principle for what all the design work for transportation systems throughout our city. And so one of the things I love about our work is that we really strive to connect community members to important decisions that are timely information that's happening within their neighborhoods. So whether that's a community meeting or a project that's happening that they have a survey out on that the city wants feedback on. Sorry, let me get my cat out of here. And so we work really hard to connect people to opportunities to impact their neighborhoods and their communities. And so one of the ways that we also guide the work that we do, like I said, is we're a coalition. And so there is a staff like myself, but we also work with a group of organizations, some of which are listed here, to help really, like I said, just guide the work that we're doing so that we're not working in this silo of just strictly transportation, because we understand that transportation really is at the underlying of a lot of different things, and health and education. And so as you can see here, a bunch of different organizations we work with help to bring a different mindset to our conversation. So what I'm here today to talk to you guys about is a really important initiative that we've been working on for a while now, which is called 20 is Plenty. So back in 2017, the city of Denver announced that they were signing on to the Vision Zero campaign, which is this mission to have zero traffic deaths on our streets by, I think it's 2030. I want to say, sorry. And we, one of the things that attributes to safe streets is the design of streets. And so here you see is a large city street that's designed for safe, transportation of all uses. But on a more shared community, like a local neighborhood street, if it's designed well, then it's a space that can be shared for all users, all modes. And so right now in the city of, I'll bring it back a little bit. So what we do at the Denver Streets Partnership is every year since the city announced their Vision Zero action plan, we have been putting out this report card where we frankly are just keeping the city accountable to the goals that they have set for themselves. So these are goals listed that the city has put out within their action plan, and we go through and rate them based on what they have done throughout the year. And as you can see, back in 2019, the city got a grade of a C+. And so within that report card, we also list out some quick policy changes that could help make streets safer right now. And one of the very easiest things that we tend to pull to the top is to lower the default speed limit from 25 miles to 20 miles per hour. And so right now in the city of Denver, the city ordinance establishes that the default city limit is 25 miles per hour on streets and highways. And we frankly think that's too fast. Studies have shown that the speed in which someone is traveling can definitely impact whether or not somebody with a pedestrian or cyclist is hit, can impact whether or not it's a serious bodily injury or a fatal. And so by lowering the speed limit from 25 miles to 20 can really help reduce these fatal or even serious bodily injury crashes on our city streets. And we have the support of our city council members right now, but we're really working hard to get neighborhood support as well, because I think that a lot of times you can put things into action and policy, but you also have to get the buy-in from the community. And so what I'm here today to ask of you is two things: is if you wanted to sign up for our newsletter, so you can keep in touch with us and involved in what we're doing if things come up in the greater Park Hill neighborhood that you might be able to get involved in. And then also we have yard signs that you can get from us for free, delivered to you. We have two different options. One is really simple and just says 20 is plenty. And then we have another fun one that says slow the funk down. And that's actually designed with a local artist here as well. Gives a little spice to the neighborhood, makes people definitely slow and double check what the sign says. And so we also ask when you're doing that, if you wanted to send a letter of support to your council member as well. That would be something that would be really beneficial for everyone. And yeah, I think that that's all I have for you guys today. Now I have any time for questions.
Sure, Emily. So Emily, I have to ashamedly admit that I didn't know what the 20 is plenty for. I see it all the time out on my runs, and I actually thought it was at least 20 minutes a day for kids to exercise. So I did. So that's
Tracy,
good.
it has like a speed limit thing on it though. The picture
Yeah.
is like a speed limit.
Yeah, let me see, I can.
I thought it was a stopwatch. Go out and play.
Oh, well, yeah.
So no, I think that's good. So is the recommendation that our residential streets would go down to 20 miles per hour?
Yes.
And that alleys would still be 15?
Yes.
Okay.
So these
All right,
are
great.
the yard sign options right there.
Yeah. Well, I have liked the slow the funk down. Those have been good. So I knew what those meant. So I've got it, and I will be encouraging it. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, we have, as you can see here, you can request up to 3, but also if you are interested in having more, because you know people that might want them, just let us know here, and anything else we should know. And we will be getting those delivered. If you are also interested in helping sign up and volunteer to deliver them, we are always looking for more volunteers. I know right now that there aren't exactly any opportunities we have at this exact moment to engage you guys in volunteer opportunities. But I think that with the onset of spring and summer and all this warm weather, and hopefully more people getting vaccinated, that we will see more opportunities for folks to get more involved in some of our engagement activities that we do, like tactical urbanism projects, or just volunteer with data collection that we have. So if you guys are interested in just getting more involved in your community like that, and helping make the streets safer for you guys, then we'd love to have you be more involved with us.
Great.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So I think this is a great campaign. To me, it makes no difference if I'm going 20 or 25 on my neighborhood street in terms of how quick I get to where I'm going. But so the way I understand it is that you would like to change the ordinance. And so you need the city council to vote to change the ordinance to reduce it from that 25 to 20 as a default, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there kind of more to it? Because if you have council support now, it kind of seems like, go for it, ask for the vote, let's do this thing. But I don't know if there's maybe more to it that I'm not realizing.
I think that you're right, that there is more to it. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but I can get back to you on it. I think that's sort of more the policy and like legislative stuff behind the scenes that I'm not as familiar with. But I think that, yeah, it's not a full win in our book, but it is one of those things that I think we're just trying to like jump through the hoops and sign all the dotted lines and things like that right now to get that official. But it's not official yet. But like I said, it's really more the community buy-in as well, because it's understanding your neighbors, that you want them to understand that 20 is plenty, and So if you've got kids that if they want to be able to play in the street safely, and so it's really like just understanding as a whole community that this is a new thing. Yes, Colette.
I think I support the idea that by lowering, having the ordinance lowered, that it might slow people down a little bit more. But I think the problem in my, and this is probably something a little bit different, but in my view, the problem is enforcement. I mean, I feel like you can say whatever that speed limit is, but right now we have a 25 that, if you drive down 17th Avenue, people are going 45 and 50 and there's no enforcement. So, I respect what you're doing and I don't want to diminish it in any way, but I feel like just saying, okay, it's not going to be 25 anymore, it's going to be 20, people are still going to go 40 and they don't care. So,
right. And we totally understand that. So for us, what we advocate for is actually a lot more of automated enforcement. There have been a lot of studies shown within even just the city of Denver that automated enforcement is actually way more successful than, officers behind a wheel that are pulling people over. That just makes people frustrated, but there's actually been people slowing down in areas where they know that there's going to be these traffic lights that are going to catch them if they're speeding. And so that's what we're actually advocating for. We're working on actually a grant right now to try and maybe get some funding to push for more of that within the city. I think right now there's only about 6 speed cameras across the city, but
why does it always find me then? I'm kidding. No, I just got a ticket. Just so everybody knows, there's a little spot of 18th right by St. Joseph's Hospital where it sneakily goes down to 25, where it's usually 35. So just be aware. No, but I joke, but that's how I feel. It's like I don't like the cameras, but they do help with enforcement. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we have right now is we just don't have enough police enforcement, on that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Louis?
Has there been any conversation about speed bumps?
So yes, unfortunately, somebody who we thought might be an ally, weirdly enough, is somebody that we're struggling with is the fire department. The emergency vehicles need to be able to have a clear line and to access whatever path they're on. And from what we continue to hear from the fire department is that speed humps are, for some reason, too much of a challenge. I'll tell you personally, I don't get it. You see speed humps in cities all across the country that also have fire trucks just like ours, and they make do. So I'm not quite sure why, but yes, speed humps are definitely something that we advocate for. Vertical deflection is one of the biggest things that can help slow down people from speeding. But weirdly enough, like I said, it's the fire department.
I feel like this kind of maybe sort of ties into the safe routes for schools, because what might happen in that area around McAuliffe could have a traffic calming effect. So maybe not speed humps, but at least, there are other traffic calming aspects. Just painting in bike lanes and doing stuff like that will also kind of help to naturally slow things down. So you have this, this multifaceted effect from increasing walkability and decreasing traffic deaths just from redesigning. So I think I just made that connection in my head. I don't know if that's a priority of that project necessarily, but I think it probably would be an outcome of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy, from the beginning of the project or how it started was with a bunch of kids getting hit by cars, and it wasn't always necessarily maybe the car's fault, and it was sometimes mutual, but it started as that, and we tried to work with a lot of different organizations that focus on traffic calming, and Safe Routes to School was really the only one. The Department of Environmental Health was like the only organization that offered to work with Greater Park Hill on this, and I'm super excited that we're getting some real infrastructure, some real slowing mechanisms. I think that there are a lot more things that we need to do. I'm sure reducing the speed limit would be great and getting more signage up. I know I have a yard sign in my yard that says drive like your kids live here. So, you know, some people don't like yard signs, but it gets your attention. So, but anyway, yeah, that was the intent from the beginning, was we really wanted to get speed bumps or a dip or reflectors or one of those miles per hour lights that showed, especially there, how fast people were driving through those intersections. So that was the intent, and I hope that everything works out with the program.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I was gonna say curb extensions or bulb outs are also another great traffic calming thing that the city likes to implement to help slow people on the street. I don't know if you're familiar with what those are, but those might also be nice to help shorten crosswalks at the school for the kids. And there's also always typically, for me, when I think of bulb outs, it's a great opportunity for the kids to then have an art activity. They can potentially do some painting or chalk in that bulb out space and brighten up and take some ownership in their space in front of their school. But yeah, well, if there's not any more questions, I'm going to let you guys have the rest of your meeting. But please feel free to reach out to me. I will, Amy, do you mind sharing my information with the rest of the group? And I can also pass along the links for the yard signs and for our newsletter as well, if you guys are interested in that. So
Great. That would be perfect.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Emily.
much for
Thanks,
coming.
Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, everybody, next on the agenda is an open floor. If anybody has any comments, announcements. I made my announcement about the garden walk tickets going on sale May 1st, 8 brand new gardens. Come one, come all. It's gonna be fun. Anybody else? Crickets?
I haven't received any major emails to get to the board this month. So
Yeah.
quiet is good as we head into spring and our country starts to open up maybe. So I'll take
Yeah.
it.
The only question I might have real quick is just, you know, we rushed to, you know, approve that request for
Oh,
the grant.
yeah.
Sawyer and Herndon. I don't know if we know any time frame of what we're going to hear about her back on it.
We don't have anything, and there is nobody from Councilman Herndon's office in the meeting that I see on this list, so
Just
I
curious.
don't know.
Just curious.
I see a hand up for D Blum.
Yeah,
You're
that's
up.
me, Dennis Bloom. Thanks. Just my little picky thing about this, getting rid of the poop trash bins on the parkways. I think it's marginally successful at best. I'm walking the dogs and seeing a lot of bags and stuff that isn't getting picked up. It's a nice idea to save money, and maybe when COVID's over and the city has more sales, and we should bring back the trash bins as soon as we can, because I think that was not a well thought out plan.
And were you and I in communication about that? And I had forwarded you an email a response email that I had gotten on that.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it was like, well, you do it in the mountains, and gee, the parkways really aren't a park.
Yeah.
The other parks really have it, and gee, you know, it'll really work when we get the signage out, which took months. And I'm here to tell you, it's not working like they think it's working. And I certainly understand their budget constraints, but I don't think, you know, the city didn't talk to the trash collectors, and this was a classic bureaucratic move, everybody pointing fingers at everybody else. And just, I think, again, there are a lot bigger fish to fry, and I understand that. So when the time is right and the budgets come back, I would hope we could lobby for them to bring back the trash barrels or something to work with, get some of those black barrels that the trash guys can pick up, and then everybody will be happier, but there's a better way. Thanks.
You
Okay,
bet.
thanks. I put that in the notes. I will pass that.
I think Nam
Um,
has his hand raised, Blair.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah,
You're up.
thanks. I just wanted to give a quick mention. I know that there was some discussion, I think at the last board meeting, in at least a brief mention at the end, and then some chat conversation. And then I think Blair, you and I had a kind of a follow-ups email or two, but specifically there was kind of a question about what happened with the 303 Artway. For those of you who may not remember, the 303 Artway was a long ago started community effort that was then kind of taken over by the Urban Land Conservancy, and then there was like a year or two long public effort that ended at the very beginning of the sort of pandemic, which is when they had released their sort of draft recommendations of a report based on sort of that community outreach effort that I had been a part of as part of their steering group. There were some partnerships actually with what is now Denver Streets Partnership and around some of those kind of pop-up events that Emily had talked about a few minutes ago. Anyway, so that was an effort that happened. There was a report that was released, and then sort of, again, over the last year with, I think, COVID and a number of things, that, no updates. So I thought it just worth mentioning that I had actually just in the last week or so, Urban Land Conservancy reached out to that original steering group of me and some other folks from the neighborhood to say, hey, with some of the conversations, whether it be the Northeast Park Hill mobility stuff that the city came and I think or reached out to us and talked about briefly, or some of the other things happening in the neighborhood and ongoing conversations. And also just, again, a year later and kind of things starting to reopen again, Urban Land Conservancy did reach out to that steering group and is kind of re-engaging that group, and then plans to re-engage the larger community, again, very kind of early stages yet, but around sort of that idea of the 303 Artway and how, whether it be those ongoing city work or other things that may be happening over the next few years in the neighborhood, how we can kind of leverage some of those things or leverage that sort of existing 303 Artway process to kind of, again, get that connection between the neighborhood really going from the Skyland Park, Holly Square area all the way to the 40th and Colorado Station, how to kind of increase connectivity, how to kind of pay homage or kind of to the sort of history in the neighborhood, and then also kind of address some of the, whether it be walkability or safety concerns that the neighborhood has raised over that steering and visioning process a few years ago. So again, just kind of wanted to mention, because it was a topic at this board meeting last month, that process and that effort has picked back up again, or will be picking back up again soon. Some meetings and hopefully more information to come over the next few months, but did just want to share that news, and I'm happy to connect anyone who has questions with, you're welcome to reach out to myself, or I'm happy to connect you with some folks from ULC if you want to talk further.
Great, Nam, thank you.
I'm just going to read Tara's little blurb in the chat in case anybody missed it, that there are 8 library locations open right now, 10 to 2, and there are some more locations opening in a few weeks. Just super exciting. And shall we move along to approval of minutes?
Yes, we do have a quorum, correct?
Yes.
Did everybody receive the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, looks like a
Okay.
yes.
Okay, do we have a motion? Does any discussion, concerns? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move to
that we
approve.
approve the move of,
Oh, Louis, I'll
Okay.
give it to you. I'll be
Okay.
second.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Louis. All in favor of approving?
Okay, hold up for at least 30 seconds. One. The other people on the board need to vote so that unless they're gonna abstain. One.
If
two,
you're
three,
voting,
four,
please
five,
raise
six,
your hand.
seven.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is abstaining?
And Nam said approve through the
Oh,
chat.
okay. That's perfect. Thank you. Chat. Okay, great.
Is there any no's?
Oh, okay.
It's okay, Blair. Any no's?
Got 5 screens going. Okay.
Okay, Bernadette said she approves her minutes. Any abstentions? I think it's unanimous.
Okay, super. Great. Perfect. Okay. And okay, now we can move on to any board issues, open floor.
I
Yes,
got nothing.
I got nothing too. Anybody? Lana had a baby, you guys. So exciting.
Did she have it?
Oh, really?
Yes,
She had
today,
it?
April
What?
1st. Yeah.
Today? Awesome. That's so great.
Well, that's news.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
I don't know if as a board we're allowed to do anything for her.
Yes,
I know
we
some
are.
yes, we
some boards do and some don't, but I'm just throwing it out there.
We are. I talked to her about this. She said something that would be really helpful is a,
Nanny.
what are those, that food thing?
Oh,
No.
the meal train. Meal
Grubhub.
train.
Grubhub.
Okay, Grubhub.
Grubhub.
Okay.
She said so I will work with Betty to get that ordered from the board, but certainly if we want to do something else as a group together, we can do that as well. So, I mean, it'll come from the board. It'll say, congratulations, come from the board. So I did talk to her about that, and she said she thought that would be the best thing for them right now.
Cool. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I know that was super helpful when I think the board did I think Lana and the board, did the same thing when we had our Samuel last year, and that was, very, very helpful in those first few weeks.
Should we kind of go all in on one or something, or is it just sort of individual, or I'm not really sure how to.
No. We're going to take it from our budget, Amy.
Oh, that's nice. I'd be happy to throw in, $20 or whatever, if that's
okay.
Yeah. I don't want to like put pressure on anybody else or anything, but I'm cool to do that,
Okay, if everybody wants to email me what they want to do, and if you still want me to do it on the Grubhub thing, I can do that. Or if you wanted me to get a gift certificate from somewhere else, I can get that as well. So just, if you want to email me and let me know, but we will be ordering her one from the organization.
Cool. Okay, I think that is it, you guys.
Record time.
7:15. It's probably even kind of light out, which is so exciting.
It is. Get outside. It's still 60.
Little bit.
Do we have
So
a date
exciting.
for Lana's baby?
Wait, say that again?
Lana's baby, boy,
I don't-
girl, name, do we know?
Oh no, I don't know. It's a boy.
Oh,
think it's a
another
boy.
It is a boy.
Yeah. It's a boy and I do not know the name.
Ah. Okay.
Okay, unless there is something else, you're all released.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thank
See you
Blair.
next month.
See ya.